I'm going to the game tonight, and I'm very, very excited. And I'm very excited to welcome to the show the hosts of a very important podcast, which you need to listen to and you need to subscribe to. And of course, if you love the Phillies, you're going to want to definitely hear this segment. You want to hear every segment, of course. But it's called Phillies Backstage with Brazer and Burgoyne. And joining me right now, Tom Burgoyne, who is best friends with the Phillie Phanatic, by the way, and John Brazer himself, the director of fun and games for the Philadelphia Phillies. Gentlemen, great to see you both.
Rich, thanks for giving me top billing.
Yeah, what is this? Brazier and Burgoyne? I thought it was Burgoyne and Brazier.
I'm just reading what you guys what's on my sheet. You got to blame my producer for that. I agree. It should be Burgoyne and Brazier.
Well,
That's
I
just
actually sent it, Tom. I sent it. Sorry.
Exactly. You sent it. We've been doing this for 7 years, Rich, and we still can't get it straight.
Well, I like that you're both humble enough to give each other the limelight. I think it's really important.
Yep. Well, it's the Phanatic always gets the limelight. Director of Fun and Games always is kind of off to the side doing the busy work, that nobody sees. So,
Tom, as the best friend of the Phanatic, knowing that the Phanatic has now been recognized for his incredible sex appeal, how does that make you feel?
Oh, well, the Phanatic's thrilled. I always thought the Phanatic was sexy. Kind of, we just lost George Wendt, and like in a Norm kind of way from Cheers. That's how, that's what I think of. But listen, Rich, he doesn't wear pants, so his sex appeal, is right out there for everybody to see.
I think it's part of the reason. I will be wearing pants, well, these shorts tonight when I go to the game. But are you having fun? Are you having a good season?
Well, it's tough not to have a good time when we're obviously have the best record in the National League, and I think we're a half game back of the best record overall in baseball. Starting rotation's unbelievable, and it's been super fun. And I know the Phanatic's having a great time as well. But also, just to add to the Phanatic, Rich, the Phanatic likes to streak. So how can you not be sexy if you don't take off all your clothes at some point and streak across the field? I don't see any other mascot doing that. I don't see Fred Bird doing that, Mr. Met, Slugger.
Hey, nobody wants to see Mr. Met and Fred Bird naked. I can see it, but yes.
I think the Phanatic is probably, in addition to being the sexiest mascot in all of Major League Baseball, also probably the most beloved. I mean, in my opinion, Forbes magazine says he's listed him as one of the best mascots for years and years and years. That's because he hangs out with Supreme Court justices, rock stars, movie stars. I mean, there's an A-lister, then the Phanatic has given him love. So I'm just saying.
It's true, Rich. It's been an unbelievable run for the Phanatic when you think about it. It's been 47 years. He debuted in 1978. Fans just took to the Phanatic right from day one. And now, it seems like in professional sports has a mascot, but I don't know if any of them or any city has kind of made it their own for this amount of time. And it's just awesome. I actually wrote a book about it, called Feel the Love. And it's all about that, the love people have for the Phanatic and how does he do it and how can we do it. And it's just been awesome. And hey, when Bryce Harper, came to the Phillies, he really kind of took it to another level and started wearing all the Phanatic gear. And now it seems like everybody's, when you come to a game, it seems like so many people are wearing their Phanatic, shirts and hats and everything else. So it's really been awesome.
He even got a Phanatic tattoo in the off season.
Yeah, yes, he did.
So did I, by the way, but I'm not showing that on camera. Hey, John Brazer, let me ask you, as a director in Fun and Games, has the Phanatic ever complained about being hot? Like, I mean, as in temperature-wise.
Well, the Phanatic's old school. I'm sure he gets hot, especially, back at the vet when, on the field, it would get 120 degrees. But no, the Phanatic he's again, old school. He doesn't complain about that. He just shows to work with a work pail and does it. And I got to tell you, just on the celebrities, you're mentioning all the celebrities that hang out with the Phanatic. I don't know if you know this or not, but the Phanatic has jammed, he's very cool as far as the music wise. He has done fins with Jimmy Buffett, right? He has sung, I think Billy Joel sang into his snout. He's performed with Elton John. He's jumped up on stage with Mountjoy, with Little Feat, with a lot of different bands, Dropkick Murphys. So there's no cooler Phanatic than or no, Mascot than the Phanatic.
I mean, Burgoyne, it would be amazing if somebody got to experience all of those things. Am I right?
I know. Well, being his best friend, I've been able to kind of hang out with him, and when he's crashed the concert or gotten thrown out of a concert. Actually, Bruce Springsteen wasn't real happy that the Phanatic crashed his concert, but
Good.
but
That
yeah,
makes
I've
me
been able
happy.
to. Yeah, I love Bruce, but he wasn't quite in the ready for the Phanatic that night. But no, I've been fortunate to wherever the Phanatic goes, I go. So I'm just living the dream at the Phanatic.
And you've written how many books now? 17?
Well, I've written 21 kids books. We just had our Fanatic About Reading Day a couple weeks ago. So 21 kids books, which has just really been really kind of a fun thing for me to do. I've written a couple other books about the Phillies, one about the '93 Phillies, another book about our move into Citizens Bank Park, and then Field of Love, which is more of a leadership and book for business. But yeah, it's I love it. When I hear, especially with those kids books, when somebody comes up to me and say, "Oh, we read these books to our kids at night, before they go to bed," it just makes me feel so happy. And the last book we gave out, it's called the Phillie Phanatic's London Adventure. We gave it out, but now it's available for sale at the game, and it's all about Bryce Harper having that special bat made before he went to London. He hits a home run. And before I wrote the book, I went to Bryce. This was last fall because it takes a while to put these books together. And I say, Bryce, would you mind, would you like to be part of the book? He's like, Tom, he goes, I read these books to my kids all the time. They're going to think it's so cool that, I'm going to be in, the next Phanatic book. So it's really been great.
That's great, man. Good for you. Brazer and Burgoyne, Burgoyne and Brazer are with us right now here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Of course, Tom Burgoyne, best friends with the Phanatic, and John Brazer, the director of fun and games for the Philadelphia Phillies. You know what I love? I love when the Phanatic jumps on top of the dugout and does his little thing and high fives everybody. And like if you were going to the game tonight, for example, like I am, and happen to be sitting in that row, like me and my kids will be tonight, and you get to high five the Phanatic, that is probably one of the coolest experiences.
Yeah, again, the Phanatic, 47 years, Rich. So there's certain things that have just gone on that long. So there's been such consistency, between, riding around on the field before the game with his ATV, fifth inning, he goes out and does something on the field. And that seventh inning dance has been happening for 47 years. And it's a lot of fun. We were talking about Bruce Springsteen. Well, it is the Phanatic's, time to act like Bruce when, in the Dancing in the Dark video, when he pulls up Courtney Cox out of the crowd, that's the Phanatic gets to pull somebody out and dance with them. And it's a fun part of the night. That's for
Rich,
sure.
one of my favorite stories with the Phanatic is this is back at the vet, and he had SpongeBob SquarePants. So SpongeBob doesn't have arms, right? Right. The
Right.
person in there doesn't have arms, and so the Phanatic doesn't tell SpongeBob what he's going to do, and it's time for the dance in front of the whole crowd. And he does YMCA. Well, SpongeBob can't lift his arms, so everyone's booing at SpongeBob, not knowing SpongeBob. So then SpongeBob jumps on the back of the four-wheeler, and they're going off the stadium. They're going up the ramp, and he's a little late, so the Phanatic's driving a little fast. And he hit the incline, and SpongeBob went flying off and did a sailor's dive, like a head plant on the concrete, was knocked out. They couldn't start the game. Bobby Abreu was laughing so hard in right field that the ground crew had to go out and scrape off SpongeBob off the concrete.
Oh.
That's fantastic. I love that. The Phanatic has been named among Major League Baseball's sexiest mascots. Of course, we know he is the sexiest mascot with the sexiest friends, no doubt about that. I remember years ago, Brazer, you probably remember when I used to do the show down in Clearwater back in the day, and you guys had me go, and I had to run to Walmart down there and buy a pair of khakis.
Right,
and you gave me
security guard.
Yeah, remember that? I was one of the security guards out there, and then I totally fooled the Phanatic. He had no idea who I was, and I was able to really pull one off on him. That was good. I don't know, Thomas, his best friend, if that was a traumatic moment for him or not, but I was able to dupe him like that.
Well, hey, now if this gig doesn't work out for you, Rich, you can always become come work for us and be a security guard.
It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility considering how great radio is doing. So you make jokes, but can we talk real quick about the wonderful concessions at the ballpark this year?
Sure.
What do we got that's new?
Tom, what do you think? What do you think's the best one?
I'm old school with the cheesesteak. I mean, every year, Rich, they put out what's new at the ballpark,
Yeah.
and there are all these new menu items. I'm a hot dog or a hot sausage guy with onions and peppers or a cheesesteak, but I know they go crazy with some of the new items down there.
We have s'mores. We've got Federal Donuts. We've got, PJ Willihan's. You've got Uncle
Chicken,
Charlie's, which is Charlie Manuel's cheesesteaks.
Ryan Howard's chicken. John.
Maybe I'll try Charlie Manuel's cheesesteak tonight. Now, does the Phanatic still shoot hot dogs out with a gun?
Yes, he does.
Good. I like that.
Colby,
that's
like
good.
You're looking for
Colby. Yeah. That's the chicken place. He doesn't shoot chicken. Actually, Phanatic to Japan. One of my goals, Rich, is to go with the Phanatic to Japan. He's been to Japan probably 5 or 6 times, and I want to bring the hot dog launcher and shoot sushi at the Tokyo Dome. Haven't done it yet, but that's my goal. I'm trying to convince the Phanatic.
That's a good goal. All right, so what are some of the other goals, Tom, that you have that you'd like to convince the Phanatic to do?
Well, let's see. Another championship.
Okay.
Down Broad Street, Rich. Come on, that's number 1.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe a mano a mano with Mr. Met someday.
Pants, Mr. Met.
Yeah, pants, Mr. Met. A battle to the death. Who knows? Well, you know what we got? We do have the All-Star game coming up. And this is pretty interesting. In 1996, Major League Baseball started to send mascots to the All-Star game. That just so happened to be the year the Phillies hosted the All-Star game. So this will be the 30th year that mascots have been at the All-Star game. And we do all the different events, home run derby, fan fest. There's an Olympic. There's an All-Star game village. So there's all kinds of events that are happening. And so we'll be down in Atlanta this year. And it's a fun time. We all, all the mascots get together and, mayhem ensues, basically. It's a little chaotic, but it's fun chaos.
Well, listen, here's the thing. Now, I got to go to the White House in April when the Eagles came. Swoop was not there. Now, when we win the World Series this year, I think it's very important, Tom, that you talk to the Phanatic about coming to the White House for the celebration, because my son was looking around and he's like, where's Swoop? You know what I mean? So I think the kids would need to see the Phanatic there. I'm just saying.
Tom, don't bring it to him that you're a member of the Green Party.
There's no politics when you're celebrating sports. Come on.
The kind of humor when you tune into the Burgoyne and Brazer podcast.
Before I let you go, you guys, the Phillies do a lot for kids. Tonight is, I think it's youth baseball night, right? How important is it? My son Patrick now is 10, loves baseball. How important is it for the lessons that the kids can learn, not just from the athletes, who I think are some of the finest? I mean, I got to go to Kyle Schwarber's neighborhood block party where he supports the Families Behind the Bad Children's Foundation and does so much great work for first responders in the city. So many of the players do. How important is it, the leadership skills, the players, and of course your best friend, the Phanatic, for the kids?
Well, you're right. I mean, it's amazing all the things that the Phillies do in the community and the players. We were just talking about it the other day that times have changed when it comes to that. It just seems like John knows when there's an off day. It seems like a player is having an event, and they all support it, which is just which is awesome. And listen, Rich, it's kind of what the Phillies are all about. We're a part of Philadelphia. We know that we can shine a spotlight on so many charities and all the good work that people are doing out there. However we can do it, whether a player, supporting it, or the Phanatic is there to support it. So we really take that responsibility very seriously, and makes us feel good that we can do so much good in the community.
And well, listen, guys, which we've been doing that for a long time. But as Tom said, too, in the community, RBI programs, reviving baseball in the inner cities, and working with, again, all the Boys and Girls Clubs and the Phillies Baseball Academy. We have a lot of different programs that a lot of fans don't even know about. So try to do as much as we can in the community.
I think that's fantastic. Well, listen, I'm proud to know you both. I'm really proud, Tom, to know your friend, the Phanatic, and please get their podcast. It's called, let me read it. I'm going to make sure I get the name right. It's called Phillies Backstage with blank and blank. Did I get that correct?
Brazer and Burgoyne.
Yes. It's 7 years. We've been on. I just told before we went on the air, Rich. I said, "Man, John, we've been doing this 7 years and 160 episodes. That's awesome. It's just been great. All the local celebrities we've been able to, interview and guys that John and I grew up admiring, Phillies players and our announcers, and
it's not just
baseball.
It's been a
blessing.
As Tom said, we did an episode last year on Bernie Perrant's deck at his in Avalon. We interviewed Jay Wright at the Villanova Fieldhouse. We interviewed the lead singer of Mount Joy. And then obviously we got a lot of baseball people with Charlie Manuel, Jamie Moyer, Reese Hoskins, Dale Murphy, a lot of people, and all of our announcers. We've got a good one coming up with Jeff Francoeur, who played for us only for 1 year, but he's a really good guy, great personality. So we try to find guys that have good stories and a lot of fun that can put up with the knuckleheads of myself and Tom Burgoyne.
Well, since I know, the Pope's a White Sox fan, but since he's a Nova guy, I mean, there's a chance he may want to hang out with the Phanatic. So if we get an invite to the Vatican, I'm coming.
How about that? Hey, John, we should try to get the Pope to the podcast.
Just make sure he doesn't see the footage of the Phanatic dressed up as the Pope. And then literally right after that routine, the opposing player hit a home run the next at bat. So we have to get the Pope back on our side.
I think after that, you got to get God back on your side, okay? So I'm just saying. Guys, always a pleasure to hang out with you both and to talk to you both. And I look forward to seeing the Phanatic tonight at the game. Go Phils, and check out the podcast. Thank you both. I appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thanks, Rich. Go Phils.
Thanks, Rich. Go Phils.